There are a good amount of horror games out there on Steam that can be played as a multiplayer. And in today's video, we will show you the 10 best multiplayer horror games on Steam in 2022. So without further ado, let's get started. The first game in today's video is Lunch Lady. Lunch Lady's empty hallways and quiet classrooms may be eerie, but they pale in comparison to the dread that is the caterer, who is genuinely awful. It seems as if she is stalking you like an awful beast, scouring the corridors and shrieking like a savage. Tense and rapid rounds are maintained since you must discover 10 exam answers to escape, and there is nothing you can do for yourself but run away. Next up we have Space Beast Terror Fright. Players assume the role of Marines tasked with exploring space beast-infested ships in search of vital data and lucrative upgrades. The spacecraft is dark, claustrophobic, and unbearably intense. An interactive maze-like ship is the basis of the game, where the Marines must find and download data core to complete missions. Number 3 we have DEVOUR. Suddenly, DEVOUR became one of the most talked about games of the year, and for good reason. Direct acclaim from the indie multiplayer horror games community suggests that Straight Back Games' upcoming 4-player cooperative horror game is one to watch. Playing this game for even a few minutes might make even the most arachnophobic people run for the door. Next up we have BIGFOOT. You and your pals may search for cryptids and survive in this 4-player cooperative survival horror game in which you try to find the elusive Bigfoot. When it comes to gameplay, the notorious upright ape is a fearsome adversary to overcome. Set in a dark backwoods woodland region, the map makes you question every shadow and flinch at the sound of every twig crack as you set up traps and cameras to capture this enigmatic beast. Next up we have Village of Zombies. The purpose of Village of Zombies is to survive as many stages as possible while battling against zombies and mutants in various landscapes. The game begins at level 1, and as you go through the levels, more and tougher zombies will appear. Every hit earns you points and killing a zombie earns you extra points. Number 6 we have FOREWARNED. When it comes to gameplay mechanics and themes, FOREWARNED is quite similar to Phasmophobia, but it adds a few more fascinating twists to the well-worn ghost hunting squad model. You and your friends are still exploring procedurally generated tombs and tunnels to find evidence of what you're up against, but the curveball comes in the form of traps that can kill you. Next up we have Sign of Silence. Sign of Silence is a good option if you're afraid of the nighttime in the woods. It is up to you and your companions to live and leave Danville after a vehicle accident in this 4-player survival cooperative game. Next up we have In Silence. As survivors, one group's goal is to flee or destroy a single player that roams the area as the resident monster in Silence, a 6-player versus 1 hunt type game. The Rake, the game's creepy patrolling creep, has weak eyesight and must seek its victims using sound instead of sight in Silence. Next up we have Dread Hunger. You're trapped on an icebound ship in this survival horror game for up to 8 players. Traders in your group may summon snowstorms and weird animals in order to hinder your progress, making it difficult to get the boat rolling again. In Dread Hunger, you never know who you can rely on since the roles are always shifting. The last game of this video is Golden Light. Golden Lights, a procedurally generated hellscape, is darkly comic and shockingly difficult, and its Silent Hill-inspired levels and roaming monstrosities are sure to startle, if not at least unnerve you. Weapons and things may be eaten, and procedural creation ensures that no frightening scenario is ever the same. So that's the list of 10 best multiplayer horror games on Steam that you can play in 2022. Your support is much appreciated if you liked the video and would want to see more from Games Puff.